Bada bing, bada boom. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. February the 8th. No, it's not February. Did you hear me? I said it's Friday, February the 8th. Oh my God. I said it's Friday. No, it's not February. I'm in my office. Huh? Good evening. Wow, good evening. Where's my mind at? How did I get here? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Let me get it right. Good afternoon. I just came off of a coaching call.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I just had a coaching session today.
Yeah.
So for the last hour or so, I was on a live coaching session with a client. So my mind is still with my client. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, April the 8th, 2022. I'm way back in February. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you're just coming on, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know. Prophet Ramon, the squad, and the Ramon Preston Show. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of the A, the T, and the L. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. Please put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Let me know who you're representing, who in terms of your city, where you're watching your boy from. I'm so excited. This has been an extraordinary week. All week we've been talking about different aspects of the holding company. So today we're going to be sharing with you some answers on some questions concerning holding company. So if you have a question about a holding company, if you have a question about business, if you have a question about systems, if you have a question about processes, if you got a question about getting money, making sales, building your empire, please put the questions in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer your question on this beautiful Friday, April the 8th, 2022, right here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. For those of you that are followers on Facebook, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube page as well. I think we have more traffic on YouTube than anywhere. So if you're watching from YouTube, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe, share our videos and our content with other people that you know could use information to help them start, structure, and scale their business. And today I'm going to be answering some questions on holding companies. I have several questions that I can answer on the holding company today. We have countless questions that we answer in our holding company course and startup kit. These are questions that many of our clients ask us on a day-to-day basis. We give them answers, we give them strategies, we give them solutions because we want everybody to win around here. As a matter of fact, the 23rd of April, the 23rd, it's going to be a Saturday in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're going to be hosting our quarterly mastermind right here in Buckhead and our workshop. So it's a one-day event. The first half of the day is our mastermind. The second half is our workshop. And we are extending some free invitations to special people. So if you would like to benefit from this offer and be a part of our upcoming VIP Mastermind Workshop, just text the word VIP. Text the word VIP to 404-478-7213. If you text the word VIP to 404-478-7213, you may qualify for a free $250 value VIP ticket to a one-day event that is going to be absolutely, positively amazing. Just text the word VIP to 404-478-7213. You better write it down. I'm getting ready to erase it. 404-478-7213. Text VIP so we can get you qualified and approved and get your ticket to join us for that one-day event. We're going to be hosting it. It's literally walking distance from our office. It's the Marriott Buckhead Conference Center, and we just hosted our last 2 quarterly events there in January and in November of 2021. It was spectacular. We had a great turnout. We had a lot of great feedback. And we're looking forward to this one being absolutely amazing. So if you are a part of our business community, if you're in our ecosystem, make sure that you register for this one-day event so that you can network with other like-minded, millionaire-minded, kingdom-minded entrepreneurs and business owners, and so that you can come and get information that can really help you take your business to the next level. Also, for those of you that have already been following us for the past several days on social media, through our emails and text messages, we've been sending a lot of information out on our new business venture called the Business Incubator. The Business Incubator. And so this is a new business venture that we're launching, and I truly believe it's going to be a game changer for a lot of startup companies that are in our ecosystem, a lot of individual entrepreneurs who are in our ecosystem, because the Business Incubator is going to be an all-inclusive consulting and capital program. So on one hand, we're going to take all the resources, all the strategies and the solutions that we provide in our consulting division, and we're going to infuse it in your business. That means we're going to help you see to it that your file and your formation of your business is correct. We're going to make sure that your infrastructure, your systems and processes are integrated into your company. We're going to help you with your vision, your core values, your mission, your company pillars. We're going to help you with your procedures, all the things that make your business a solid, sustainable, and successful business. We're going to be helping you and walking with you through this in our Business Incubator. The capital aspect of our incubator is that upon completion and approval, meaning that once we've put together your infrastructure, once we've integrated your systems and processes, once you have your products and services aligned with your business, once you have your packages and your sales and marketing, everything is just polished together correctly, and we're going to walk with you through that process. Once it's done, you will be eligible to receive investment capital, business loans, or business lines of credit. So we're going to be funding opportunities for entrepreneurs to really scale their businesses. So it's going to be an amazing program. I truly believe it's going to be a game changer for so many people in our community, and I'm looking forward to many of you being a part of it. So if you are a member of our Millionaire Blueprint, if you're a member of our coaching program, and you would like to move up to our Business Incubator or move up to any program in our ecosystem, please reach out to us. We are extending some amazing offers, some amazing payment terms to those of you who are a part of our business community, because we want you to stay in this ecosystem and grow as we grow. We want you to continue to expand and excel as we expand and excel. And the thing about me, if you know me personally, anything that I learn, anything that I implement, anything that I succeed in, I pass it over to the people who are in my community, who are in my ecosystem, because why do I want to win and know how to win, and I'm not going to give you the winning formula? I'm giving it to you, but you got to be willing to put yourself in the position to get it. So if you're interested in moving up to our incubator, maybe you are a coach and a consultant and you really want to learn how to do it, we're giving all of our programs to those who are joining our incubator. So that means as a member of our incubator, we're giving you free access to our business certification training for coaches and consultants. You get that for free. When you join our Business Incubator, we're giving you 1 year access to our Millionaire Mentorship program. So you're getting one-on-one coaching sessions, you're getting our weekly coaching calls, you're getting our quarterly mastermind workshops. We're giving you everything you need so that you can succeed. So if you're interested, please reach out to us, the same number, 404-478-7213. So I want to answer some questions concerning holding companies. I get so many questions about the holding company. I mean, literally, I get so many questions from people about the holding company. So if you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer any of the questions that you may have. But I do have a list of questions in front of me. I mean, literally, I could just go to my inbox, or I could go to my message board on YouTube, and I can literally find question after question that we get concerning the holding company. So one of the common questions that I get about the holding company is, what is the best way to get funding for my holding company? Most people ask that question about any business. How do you get funding? How do you get funding? How do I fund my holding company? This is a very common question that I get from clients and just from people who follow us on social media. How do I fund my holding company? So again, you might not have a holding company. Maybe you just got some other type of operational business. You're asking the question, how do I get funding for my business? How do I go to a bank? How do I go to an institution? How do I go to a credit union? How do I find investors? Or how do I find merchants who are willing to extend to me lines of credit? How do I get funding? Well, here's my answer to this question. Number one, the first way and the best way to get funding for your holding company or for any business is through sales. Do you understand that answer? Do you understand that answer? It's not banks. It's not credit unions. It's not credit card companies. It's not a private equity group. It's not a private investor, an angel investor. It's sales. Now, you may say to yourself, or you may say to me if we were talking, I don't have any products or services. Well, this is why you have to go through the business building process. This is one of the reasons why when we assess all of our clients, one of the first things we do once we figure out the infrastructure of their business, one of the next things we do is help them develop their products and their services. Because if you have an idea for something you want to do, even if it's future tense, if that idea can be packaged into a product and a service, then we want to be able to package that idea as a product and service so that we can take that product or that service to the market and see if that product and service can actually generate a sale. See, sales, listen to this, sales are the heartbeat and the lifeline to any business. I'm telling you, if you have a business and if sales is not at the top of your priority list as a business owner, I promise you this, that you are doing it backwards. You are going at it the wrong way. And you may very well find yourself in a lot of financial trouble because, see, I know it firsthand. There was a time that I was in so much credit card debt. There was a time I had all kind of loans and I owed everybody because I was approaching business the wrong way. I wasn't really focusing on what was the lifeline and the heartbeat of my business. So of course, when you are in a position to get funding from a loan or from a line of credit or from credit cards or from private equity groups, which that doesn't even count for most businesses that ain't got multi-million-dollar opportunities. But we're just talking about like personal relationships you have with people who can loan you a couple $1,000s to get started. Maybe it's mom of them or some friends or siblings or whatever. But if you are focusing on those things and you're not focusing on sales, you're going to approach business the wrong way. There was a time that I approached business from that perspective, meaning that I was listening to people, and everybody I was listening to who knew nothing about scaling businesses and really making real money because they didn't have it. They were always talking about, oh, you need to get a Uline, you need a Duns and Bradstreet account, you need to get some credit cards, business cards, personal cards, you need to reallocate, blah, blah, blah. They had all this fancy stuff that they were talking about, but the one thing that they really didn't talk a lot about was taking products and services to the market and generating sales. They didn't help me understand that. And so the moment I started educating myself about sales, the moment I started educating myself about business profits, the moment I started educating myself about generating revenue from conversions, then I realized that I could actually self-fund my holding company. I could self-fund my holding company because I could generate enough revenue, make enough profit, make enough sales that I could actually predict what my next business move was and actually self-fund it. And guess what? A lot of banks that you go to, they will literally give you the criteria on how you can get a loan. So I remember one of the first times I went to my bank and I sat down with the bank. I think it was the general manager of the bank. It was one of the key people. They worked in corporate and they came to this particular branch and they were running that branch. And I remember sitting down with them and they told me everything that I needed to do in order to get a loan. Now, of course, I did everything to the best of my ability, submitted the package, and still got denied on corporate level. They pushed it through, sent it to corporate, and it was like, we just can't do it. Whatever the situation was, they never did it. Never gave me a credit card, which was a blessing because the dollar amount of a loan that I was trying to get, they basically started showing me that, oh, in order for you to get that loan, you need almost that much in the bank, or you need at least that much sitting in your checking account or savings account to show that you can make that kind of money or generate that kind of money. So it almost helped me at that point to see that it was about sales. Initially, I was upset. I was like, oh man, I need that money, because the moment they would have gave me that money, I would have spent all that money on bills because I wasn't making sales. And so when I did start getting loans and lines of credit, and I started getting credit cards to help support and to help fund my business, guess what happened? I realized that I was over my head in debt because I wasn't generating new sales. So the question is, how do I fund my holding company? How do I fund my LLC? How do I fund this small business that I want to start? How do I fund my entrepreneurial endeavors for 2022? I'm telling you, the best way is sales. You have to learn to self-fund what you want to do in your business, because sales are the lifeline and the heartbeat of every business. Now, depending on personal or business credibility, of course, there are banks that will issue credit cards. There are banks that will issue lines of credit. There are banks that will issue short-term loans to your business. Here's what I like to say. If you are in a personal position to guarantee for a certain credit card or for a certain short-term or long-term loan or line of credit, make sure that you have done your due diligence on where that money or that line of credit can be utilized in your business to generate new sales. Don't just take it and say, oh, I got to go buy equipment, and I got to go get a building, and I got to go get an office space, and I got to go hire 3 people, and you do not have sales. You need to have sales. Most of the time, people get credit cards, business loans, and lines of credit, and they don't allocate anything towards their personal development. That's even crazier. So some of the money that you get, if you do get it, even if you're making sales, some of that money needs to be earmarked and allocated towards your personal and your professional development. You need to educate yourself. You need to learn how to become a better leader, learn how to become a better business owner. Here's another question. How many businesses can I have under my holding company? How many businesses can you have under your holding company? All right, I get this question a lot. Well, you can have as many businesses as you want. You can have as many businesses as you want. Okay, it doesn't really matter how many businesses you have. I'm trying to spell the question out so you can get it. And please forgive me for my handwriting. I write like I think. Everybody tell me that. You think crazy, you write crazy. So how many businesses can you have under your holding company? As many as you want. There's no limit to how many you can have. What I will say is this. If you cannot figure out the proper systems and the processes that you need for your holding company to function efficiently first, don't keep jumping into starting new businesses or subsidiaries under your holding company just because you like the idea of telling people, oh, I got a holding company and I got 18 subsidiaries, but none of them are making sales. Back to the first question. None of them ain't got no money. You ain't got no products and services that make sense in any of the businesses. You ain't doing nothing but twiddling your thumbs and trying to figure out what you're supposed to do with all these businesses. And outside of all those reasons, you don't have systems and processes. So your holding company needs to have financial systems, operational systems, sales systems, and marketing systems, or at least you need to have the infrastructure built for your holding company to have it. Because remember, we've been talking about this all week. If you have the 5 top corporate systems and roles that are built into your holding company, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you have these systems and processes built into your holding company, how easy is it going to be for you to integrate them and incorporate them into your subsidiaries? It's going to be easier. But if you got multiple subsidiaries that your holding company owns, so you keep starting LLCs every time you get an idea, you have to have multiple QuickBooks systems. So let's say if your financial system is QuickBooks. Well, that means you're going to have a QuickBooks account for your holding company. You're going to have a QuickBooks account for every subsidiary that you start. You have to separate those. You have to make sure that they're separate. So even though on your holding company QuickBooks account, you're going to show on the ledger, the general ledger, you're going to show all the financial activities of each subsidiary, but each subsidiary still needs its own financial system. It still needs its own sales system. It still needs its own marketing system. It still needs its own operational system. It still needs its own executive system, because maybe at some point you may exit the role of the executive in that subsidiary and bring someone else on. But you can't bring nobody else in there to help you or to run it for you if you don't have the right systems and processes. All right? So hopefully that will make sense. So you can have as many businesses as you can as you can manage under your holding company. That's the key word, as many as you can manage. Most people can't manage one business, so they definitely don't need to be trying to manage multiple. The challenge to this is to make sure you maintain, I just said it, separatism among all entities. You got to show separatism. They all need to be separated. Their own EINs, they have to have their own articles of organization, they have to have their own operating agreements, they have to have their own systems and processes. They have to have separatism among the entities, as well as the right systems and staff to ensure their success. All right? Very, very important point. Again, if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer, all you have to do is drop the question in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. Or maybe you just know your stuff like nobody else and you already all right. If that's the case, then more blessings to you. Okay, we have the digital visuals. If you're watching on YouTube, they said, finally learning about it. Good information. Thank you. Thank you for watching the Ramon Preston Show. Of course, if there's anything that we can do to further support you, to further assist you, to provide more resources to you, feel free to give us a call at 404-478-7213. Again, 404-478-7213. All right, let's see. We have more questions on the holding company. Let's see what question we're going to answer on the holding company. This is a good question, very common question that a lot of people ask. What are the tax advantages of a holding company? What are the tax advantages of a holding company? I'm going to read what I wrote down or typed down, and then I'll give some more explanation to it. What are the tax advantages? It's another question. I think a lot of people want to know that. We got to wait for technology to catch up with us, right? Come on with it. So what are the tax advantages of a holding company? Most of the tax advantages are realized in how a holding company receives pre-tax revenue from its subsidiaries and redistributes or reallocates it for investment purposes. Depending on the type of investment, this can typically be considered a non-taxable event. All right, so let me explain to you what that means. So you have, let me explain to you what that means. So you have a holding company. So your holding company is here. And so let's say you have subsidiaries. We'll just use 3 subsidiaries, okay? So these subsidiaries are going into the market and they're generating revenue. I want what I just said to make sense to you. Let me read it again. What are the tax advantages of a holding company? Most of the tax advantages are realized in how a holding company receives pre-tax revenue from its subsidiaries. So this is revenue that these subsidiaries are generating. How is it pre-tax revenue? Well, because when it's time for the person who owns the holding company to do their taxes, it's going to be based on the overall revenue that came through these companies up to the holding company and passed through the holding company, and whatever was left, that's what they're going to put on their paperwork for the CPA, the person who does their taxes, to do it. All that's going to pass through up to the person or the people who own it. That's why they call them pass-through entities, right? So this is pre-tax revenue. This revenue hasn't been taxed. So again, most of the tax advantages are realized in how a holding company receives pre-tax revenue, revenue that's coming from its subsidiaries, and how the holding company redistributes or reallocates it for investment purposes. Depending on the type of investment, this can typically be considered a non-taxable event. And so what that means is when these subsidiaries are generating revenue and this revenue is being pushed up or passed up through these entities and they're coming to the holding company, depending on the type of investment that this holding company puts that money in, that's going to be determined if it's a non-taxable event. Now, I've talked to CPAs and tax strategists, and there are certain things that are considered to be non-taxable events. Whether it's a real estate acquisition or some type of business acquisition, I always recommend, if I'm talking to people about some of these things, is to do what I do. Don't just take my word for it, do what I do. When I have some type of money that's coming from a division or a subsidiary, and I push it up and pass it through to my holding company, and my holding company has another opportunity to make an investment with revenue that hadn't even been passed up to me and taxed, I want to make sure that whatever this event is this event considered to be non-taxable, so that I don't get to this point and realize, oh, I just spent 50 grand on something I thought was non-taxable with pre-tax revenue and I still got to pay taxes on it. And maybe it's okay, but I always recommend to do, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're operating like this, do what I do. I talk to my CPA, I call my tax strategist, and I say, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking about doing, because we're not the tax experts. So we don't want to act like we're the ones who know it all, okay? A lot of this stuff I'm saying to you could just be my opinion and my perspective based on an experience I had or an event I had, but I have made decisions like this before I paid taxes, only to realize that I came around and I'm gonna have to be taxed on certain money that came through, no matter what I did with it. So I want you to make sure that you talk to the people who know what they're doing, because tax experts, strategists, CPAs, that's what they get paid to do. And so you have to put those type of people on a retainer. So I'm just making that clear across the board. Just because you listening to people like me and other internet gurus who are telling you, oh, you could do this, you could do that. Yeah, okay, it sounds good, until you talk to the person who knows what they're doing and say, oh, you couldn't do that, you couldn't do this, and now you're going to pay taxes on it. So just make sure that whatever your activities are, when you are moving pre-tax revenue around, that those activities are at least considered to be non-taxable events. And if they're not, at least you know, okay, if you took 20 grand and did something with it and you know it's not a non-taxable event, you're going to pay taxes on it still when it shows up here, then at least you know what you're doing and you're okay with it, rather than spending that money thinking that, oh, I ain't got to pay taxes on it, and then when it shows up on your tax paper, your tax person says, no, you're going to pay taxes on it. All right? So I have a question on YouTube. Giovanni Rodriguez, how are you? Hello, I wanted to know if, say, for instance, I have a holding company and my business partner also his own holding company, and we want to own the same subsidiary company, how would that work? Oh, that worked perfectly fine. That will work perfectly fine. So Giovanni Rodriguez says, okay, I'm going to put GR for you, my friend. You have your holding company. That's my man GR. He's got his holding company. And then he says, my business partner, we'll put BP for business partner. They own their own holding co. Come on through here, GV, GR. So he's saying, I wanted to know if I have a holding company, this is him, and my business partner has his own holding company, this is them, and we want to own the same subsidiary company. So now here's a subsidiary. So I'm just assuming, I don't know for sure, but let's just assume your holding company is a LLC, or maybe it's an incorporation, I don't know. But let's just say it's one of the two, right? Gotta be. And now this is going to be a LLC or something, whatever you make it. This is a subsidiary. His question is, how do we do that? Well, your holding, GR's holding company LLC is going to own 50%. And the BP's holding company is going to own 50%. Bada bing, bada boom. So this would be considered a multi-member LLC, and the ownership interest, 50%, will be owned by my man GR, and the other 50% ownership interest will be owned by BP. So when this multi-member LLC, when this subsidiary makes money, whatever the net profits are that this subsidiary makes, it's going to come up to GR's LLC. The other 50% is going to come to BP's, and that money will be passed up through to your boy when it's time to do the tax thing. So yes, that's how you would do it, my friend. Joe Wabi says, thank God I found you going live. I have questions about holding companies and their subs. Well, you better drop that question in the comments, bro. Let me hear the question. So that's it, Giovanni. That's how you do it. So the subsidiary is not going to be owned by you. The subsidiary is not going to be owned by your business partner. The subsidiary is going to be owned by your holding company and your partner's holding company, and both of your companies will own 50% interest in that subsidiary. And that's how you build that out. Good question, by the way. Thank you so much for asking the question, and I appreciate all of you for asking questions and for interacting. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube page now. I got a whole lot of videos on there. I think we got about 1,300 videos. Okay, Joe, here we go. Joe said, how do you go about charging your LLCs a management fee through your parent company? I heard tax advantages which I can make the parent company S Corp LLC charge my subs a fee and pay myself a salary. But for me to get income, I need to charge my LLCs a fee into the parent company. What's the process? Okay, if I'm gonna try to answer this question the best that I can if I can understand it. So you're saying, but for me, get the income. So I'm assuming that you have a S Corp. I think so. I think that's what you're saying. You have an S Corp. And the S Corp owns LLCs. And so the LLCs are making money. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. I'm not 100% sure if that's what you're saying. But if this is what you're saying, and your S Corp owns LLCs, you're asking, how do I go about charging my LLCs a management fee through my parent company? I heard tax advantages, which I can. Okay, I see. Okay, so you're okay, I get it. So your parent company is an LLC, even though it's filed as a S Corp. I get it. I understand. So that means you can take a salary, right? That means you could take a salary Well, you're probably going to have to if you're filing it like that. So how do I go about charging my LLC a management fee through my parent organization? I heard tax advantages, which I can make the parent company charge sub fees and pay myself a salary. I mean, I know that's a real kind of like multi-layered question, but if your LLCs are making money, all of the money can be pushed up to your main LLC anyway. So your main LLC owns them. So if that money is coming to your LLC, I mean, you can get a management fee, but I don't see why, when the money that these LLCs are making is gonna come up to the main LLC anyway. So that means if this LLC makes $10,000 and the expenses are $5,000, and so this LLC nets $5,000, I don't see why the $5,000 just can't come up to this LLC and you take a owner's draw, or if you have a certain salary that you're pulling on a regular basis, that salary is going to be funded by the LLC that's taking money, that has money coming up from its subsidiaries. So I don't really know if a management fee is necessary. I really don't know if a management fee is necessary unless your LLC is managing certain assets. So I would just say that if your LLC is, if your subsidiaries are making money, whatever the net profits are, they're going to be pushed up to, they're just passed through entities. So that money is being passed through. So if all of these subs are making money, once the expenses of those operational subs are paid, whatever the net is just going to come up to the holding company. And I would personally say, even if you're not taking a salary or pulling an owner's draw or getting a distribution from the LLC, I would still make sure that all of this net revenue after expenses in these subs is going up to the holding company anyway, because I want the holding company to control that free cash flow. If one of these subs needs some, I can always give them some, but I want to control that narrative for whatever the things that I want to do to continue to build it out. So how would I transfer it? Just direct transfer, or the CPA's account will be able to file that? Yeah, you just transfer that. So you got all these subs. All these subs have these LLCs that are subs. They have their money coming in to a bank account, and all you're doing is either writing a check to the holding company LLC. Yeah, you just writing a check. So you writing a check, or you just wire transferring, and on the financial statement, of the holding company, you just want to show what income came up from these separate entities. You want to be able to show 5 came from LLC 1, 6 came from LLC 2, 3 came from LLC 3. Now again, in these LLCs, they're going to have their own financial statement to show that they made 10, they spent 5, and they had 5 left, and that 5 went up to that holding company. And then you're over here, you got an LLC, and you're going to take an owner's draw. I think that's what a lot of CPAs call it. I think that's what's on my my QuickBooks. You're going to take an owner's draw, or it will be a distribution, however you have it, or maybe you got it set up to where you're gonna just take, you're just on a salary, and whatever that dollar amount is, it's gonna come from here into there. But where did that money from here to you come from? It came from these subs. But I want my holding company to control all this net revenue anyway, so that if I have other opportunities or other investments, I can make it. In the simplest way, explain how the holding company shows that it owns. I'm sorry, Carter, I didn't understand your question. Carter, I didn't understand your question. Oh, makes more sense. I watched about the fee strategy and all which Bezos did and paid 0 to none on taxes, which I don't know if it's true. Well, a lot of times when these companies, when they don't pay taxes, it's because of a lot of different reasons. It could be because they have depreciation going against a lot of real income that they have coming in. They could be paying out dividends to stockholders where it goes against, or it weighs against their net profit. So it could be multiple reasons. Like most of the people that we work with, let's say in the real estate arena, they'll have a holding company here. Okay, they'll have a holding company. Then they may have a company that's active out in the market making money, right? Then they will have, let's say, another business making money here. It could be Airbnb investing. And then they may have like some real estate company where they own a rental property. They may own a couple rental properties. And so the depreciation of this real estate offsets the net profits of these other companies. So these other companies make, let's say, $75,000 of net after expenses. That 75 comes up to the holding company. That owner or those owners have to show a net profit of 75, but over here they got real estate and their depreciation is $125,000. So they actually swallow up that 75 and still got 50 on the hook. So a lot of times they put that against a lot of depreciation, and it's just different things. Or they have a lot of expenses where they push that money into something else. So it's different ways to do it. But when you got those kind of problems, those are real good problems to have. Your internet is so quick. I've had to wait like 15 minutes for other streamers to receive my message. Oh, well, good. I'm so glad you got it. Okay, Carter, I don't know the question, what you were asking, but the question says, he wrote, in the simplest way, explain how the holding company shows that it owns the subsidiary. Well, number one, I'll give you a couple ways. The holding company shows that it owns a subsidiary with the Secretary of State. So when you file your articles of organization, you're going to have to put on that article who is the owner or the organizer for that LLC, right? And so a lot of states, I know Georgia does, you have to put the business name, the holding company name, and you have to add the person's name as well. So let's say if Ramon Preston Enterprises is my holding company, right? This is my holding company, LLC. And I want to go to the Secretary of State and I want to start a subsidiary. But Ramon Preston does not want to own the subsidiary LLC. I want my holding company to own it. A lot of times when I put the signature to specify who is the owner or the organizer, the member of this company, I'm going to put Ramon Preston Enterprises. And a lot of times when you're putting the signature, you may have to put Ramon Preston Enterprises by Ramon Preston, just to show that there's actually a human being involved, a real person. I know when you get your EIN number, you can't put a company name down. You have to put your name as the authorized signer. So it's very similar with the Secretary of State. So on the Secretary of State level, the member, the organizer is going to be your company, your holding company. So that's going to show. Also, another way to show that your holding company owns the subsidiary is in your operating agreement. So your operating agreement is going to spell out that ABC Enterprises LLC, which is the holding company, owns or is operating for the purpose of owning other businesses. But then when you start the subsidiary, you're going to do an operating agreement for the subsidiary. And the subsidiary is going to spell out in your operating agreement that it is owned by the holding company, and it is under the control of the holding company. So that's going to spell it out. Also, in your general ledger. So when your holding company, let's say, has a QuickBooks account, right? You're going to have a general ledger. So on your general ledger, let's say if you got classes, your classes are going to show all the divisions under your holding company. This is your holding company QuickBooks. It's your general ledger. So you're going to have classes, and then it's going to show the subsidiaries. And it's going to show all the income and expenses of the subs, showing on the financial records that the holding company owns the subsidiary. So listen, for those of you who need more information, you would like to learn all of these principles and concepts, we have a holding company course and startup kit that we are offering to you that you could get access to immediately today. We also have a 1-year training program called the Millionaire Blueprint that not only includes our holding company course and startup kit, but it also includes hundreds of other training videos on creative tax strategies, on sales, on marketing, on goal setting, on financial systems. So everything that we teach, from starting your business to structuring it and scaling it with systems, processes, and all the details in between, we've packaged it in our Millionaire Blueprint. So you have two options for virtual courses. You have our holding company course and startup kit, which is an all-inclusive, comprehensive course with a startup kit, meaning that we have an operating agreement in there. We give you a tutorial to show you how to get your EIN for your holding company, how to get your EIN for your subsidiaries, how to file your articles of organization, how to draft your operating agreement. We give you all the forms, the documents, the tutorial videos, and we educate you on how to run your holding company, how to manage it, how to build it out so it can make sense to you. All you have to do is just text Millionaire to 404-478-7213. So we're offering our holding company course and startup kit. It's only $497. You can get access to it today. You have 1 year to go through the course. We give you 1 whole year to train, to educate yourself. We add new information to it on a day-to-day basis. There are a lot of resources that we provide for you in that course and kit, but It's an all-inclusive, comprehensive course and startup kit. Like nobody gets access to this course and doesn't learn how to operate a holding company. They know how to start it, they know how to file it, form it, they know how to add systems and processes to it, they know how to build their divisions out in their subsidiaries. So that would be the course and kit. And we also have our Millionaire Blueprint, which is a $1,500 program that we're offering, and it is 1 year, but you get access to not just this course, but you get access to all of our financial literacy courses. We teach you accounting, we teach you sales, we give you a sales script for your products and services. We teach you marketing, we teach you about all of the systems and the processes that you need. As a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. Even before you text Millionaire, if you're still questioning it, I want you to go to RamonPreston.com. Just go to my website and pull it up. You'll see all the information there. Go to RamonPreston.com, RamonPreston.com, and just take a look at all of the courses that we have available. All right, just take a look. Let me pull it up for you just in case you think I'm capping. I'm very open and transparent, so you ain't got to worry about me lying and capping on social media. You know, I am a millionaire mogul, but I'm not some fly-by-night internet guru or internet sensation that's just trying to sell you something that I don't know anything about. I appreciate that, Carter. I'm glad that I answered your question. Joe, what's up, my friend? Can you have one CPA accountant for your holding company and all subs, or do you need one for each? No, you just need one. You just need one. You need one. I would definitely recommend that whoever your accountant is, that they are at least clear on creative tax strategies, because there is a fundamental difference. I didn't know this when I first started business, but I figured it out, especially after about I think I went through 3 or 4 different accountants, and I figured it out. So there's a fundamental difference between just a general CPA and a tax strategist. So if you can find someone that actually understands both of those worlds, where they don't just do your accounting for the year before, but they can actually help you set the trajectory or forecast to keep you on point so that you can implement creative tax strategies throughout the year, that's going to be the best case scenario for you. But yeah, everything that I do in my organizational enterprise, all of my divisions or subsidiaries, they're all housed under one umbrella, and my CPA and tax strategist takes care of it all. And again, if there are any glitches, I have to be honest, anything that I've glitched in, meaning that if I made some mistakes or overlooked some things that ended up costing me paying taxes or something, it really wasn't because of who I work with. It really was because of me, because I wasn't clear on certain transactions, or I didn't get information in time, or I submitted information and I didn't ask the right questions. So when you're dealing with these types of professionals, you have to understand how they think. They don't think like we do. A lot of them are not trying to be like gurus and, like multi-billionaires and millionaires. A lot of them just do what they do well. They love what they do. They're passionate about it, and they just want to take care of their clients. So they're not thinking the way we think. So a lot of these professionals that you work with, don't blame them. You have to learn to ask the right questions, and you have to have a relationship. And most of the time you have to put them on a retainer, meaning that you may have to pay them on an ongoing basis so that when you call them and send them an email, they can send you a message back and answer you and say, hey, what you're trying to do don't make sense, or don't do it that way, do it this way, or don't use that language, use this language, or instead of doing this, do that. This is where the expertise of these creative tax strategists play a big role in your overall success. So if you have any questions, all you have to do is go to my website, RamonPreston.com. I'm showing you a mobile version, But if you go to my website, you'll see all of the menu items. We have coaching. We have a coaching program. It's called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. It's a 1-year program where we provide weekly coaching calls, one-on-one coaching sessions. We give you access to our Millionaire Blueprint, our online training program, so that you can learn how to start, structure, and scale your business with the right systems and processes. We give you access to quarterly workshops and masterminds in our coaching program. We have a consulting division. We provide consulting services to our clients who may not want a coaching program. They just need help with some of the nuts and bolts of building their business out. We provide consulting. All you have to do if you want to know more about our holding company course, just click on training. We have all our programs right here. When you click on training, it's going to take you to our training platform. You can go to business programs, and you could pull up our holding company course to see it for yourself. Let's see here. Why is this acting up? Don't start nothing. Okay, well, I guess it don't want to work for me today. But either way, go to RamonPreston.com. I appreciate all of you for joining the show today. If you are ready to educate yourself, learn so that you can be well-versed, well-rounded, and efficient as an entrepreneur and a business owner, text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. My team and I, we are here. We'll answer any questions you have. We'll direct you to the programs that we have available that will best fit what you're looking at doing, and we'll be more than happy to serve you. We're serving a lot of clients from all over the United States of America. We have clients that are in our training program. We have clients that are in our mentorship program. We have clients that are being certified as coaches and consultants themselves. We're training them on that. We have people who are joining our business incubator so that they can be consulted by us for a long period of time and be eligible to receive capital, investment capital, business capital. And we have licensees, people who are taking all of what we have in our company and they're repurposing it and using it for their businesses. Our goal is to create millionaires because I know how important it is to be financially free. I know what it is when you ain't financially free. I know what it is when you ain't successful. And because I've created it, I want everybody to experience it because I know what it's done for me and for my family. So I love all of you, appreciate all of you. And we'll be back Monday, same place, same time, right here on the Ramon Preston Show. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. Subscribe, hit that bell, invite others to subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn, all at Ramon Preston. Appreciate you. Have an amazing week.